public hearing for William Almond, 89 Peck Street, Franklin, Mass. Special permit for the construction for a single-family house on unaccepted way, Cleveland Street. Do I have someone there?
Yes, yes, sir. Set up a... My name is Eric Wilhelmsen. I'm with Hannigan Engineering. The applicant is proposing to construct a single-family house on Cleveland Street, which is an unaccepted way. The house will be provided with municipal water and sewer, an existing water main already on Cleveland Street, and we will be constructing a sewer main from the sewer trunk line, which is at the end of Cleveland Street, bringing it up to the house, as well as the adjacent lot, the North property, which was originally proposed as a sewer pump, which would have pumped out to Lancaster Street. Additionally, the existing pavement on Cleveland Street does extend up to about the midpoint of the proposed lot. Based upon the site walk that we had yesterday with members of the board, there were some suggestions made about widening the pavement up to 24 feet from the existing 20-foot wide, as well as extending the pavement down to the end of Cleveland Street, down to the driveway for the existing house. In reviewing that, in widening the road by 4 feet on either side, or on one side, would require some utility pole moving, regrading of driveways for some existing houses that are already there, and 2 feet on either side of the roadway, but that 2 feet of extra pavement is prone to crumbling and cracking, so it's kind of a less desirable of an approach to widening out to 24. But keeping in line with similar projects that you have approved and requirements for the paving, we're proposing just to extend the existing pavement approximately 40 feet further down Cleveland Street, so that the entire proposed lot has pavement along the frontage. Other than that,
So you're saying you're just gonna do the 40 feet, you don't wanna do...
yeah, you're just going to extend the existing pavement so that the lot itself has pavement in front of the entire frontage.
20 feet wide?
No, not 40 feet.
20?
20 feet. Right.
Because it's 20.9 right now.
Well, we'll keep, yeah.
Well, it goes on from 19.9, actually. 20.9.
Whatever the width is at the end, we'll just extend it down to the frontage of the lot.
Okay. That's your proposal?
Yes.
Do you have anything else to add?
That's basically it.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have an extra pen? Thank you very much.
But it's got a clicker on it.
That's why it's better if he has it. Not me.
Okay, fine, thank you. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak in favor of this project? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Sue Downey, live on 20 Cleveland Street, the last one on the left. I have no problem with the project. It is my daughter. She'll be moving in right next door to me.
Oh, okay.
And you did the same thing for the people across the street. You just had them paved 20 feet past their driveway and it passed, so I have no problem with that again.
Okay.
And I really don't want it to go any wider either, because if you go too much wider, I actually don't want it to go wider to come into my land, so.
Well, that is
Rather,
a 50-foot right of way.
right, but I.
So you're on, where your fences are, and where all the trees are actually in the city right of way.
But 20 feet in a street with only 5 houses seems to be plenty.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Okay.
what we're trying to do is whenever we get a street like this, and it's a request from the DPWs to get them as wide, because people, when you had one house down there, it didn't make much difference.
Right,
And it was nice and quiet, and I'm sure it was quiet.
yeah, very quiet, yeah.
But now, when you've got the other houses now, when they have friends over or family, or could be Thanksgiving or Christmas or stuff like that, they start parking on the street, it becomes very congested.
Right.
And that's something you can't control. And if we happen to have snow, then the plows have to get down there. So that's why we're asking for, you know, things to be done, so that, to be done right, if we can.
Right, now, that's why it's just her house though, why the other 3 houses didn't have to do this. The other 2 across the street, and now Kevin's house right next to
Well,
that.
the other one, they brought it down to their property lines.
No, I
okay.
mean 20 feet below there.
The 20 feet, well,
Past their
what
driveway.
we should have done is when we put in this other one, that we should have widened it out to his property line. But sometimes you miss it.
Yeah,
But we are looking for the road to be completed to the end if we can.
okay. Well, I have no problem with the way it is, because that's the way it's been for 16 years, and when we
But
built
now
across
we
the
have,
street,
yeah,
so-
I mean, that's a request that we have from the DPW. You've got sewer lines, you gotta do it
Right.
anyway, you've got your grading, and, so let's see
Okay.
what happens.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, ma'am. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak in favor of this? Do I have anyone wishes
Yeah.
to speak? Oh,
Yeah,
yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I own the lot presently, owned it for the last 20 years or so, and this is my granddaughter.
Okay.
And we have a place on Vine Street, I think it's less than 20 feet wide, been there for years, we have no problem. If you go down the street, there's Hayes Street, they're all the same thing and so on. So to try to take and put 4 feet down this one here, when this is probably gonna be the last house that's gonna be on there, and putting an awful load on this one household that is to do this whole job. And I have no problem, I own the land there for the moment, but the rest of the road continued on at the same width that it is. I see no problem with that. I mean, all the
Okay.
other streets there are the same width, and been that way for years. Okay?
Okay. Do I have anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Do I have anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Do I have anyone who wishes to speak in opposition? Okay. Any members of the board? Okay.
John, I'm in agreement with we didn't require it for these other houses, and we've been on this.
Well, they had to put the road in.
They had to put the road in, but we've been piecemealing this, piecemealing this, piecemealing this. I don't see why we'd have to extend it any further than the lot line, it's just my opinion on it.
Well, see, that's, we want to bring it to the end of that road there.
Well, you want to bring it what, for sewer easement, is that what the DPW is asking for?
So it has it right there, right?
But the sewer's already, is the sewer in the ground here yet?
No, that's a proposal.
What
It's
are you,
proposed.
what are you
It's not done
gonna
yet.
propose for once you tie the sewer in, what are you gonna?
Actually, I believe it is in.
It isn't.
I believe it is in.
So what's the
Oh, it is, and we
proposed?
couldn't tell.
It's been completed for the light.
It's currently gravel, right?
It has been
And
completed
the
for the
line-
light property.
Is
Okay.
it already in the road?
Yes.
It's just a gravel road.
Can you
Yeah.
tell, can you tell
No,
us
I know the road well.
about parcel C? What is parcel C? What's happening there? That part of, that was all one ownership, but part of lot 1?
Yeah, it was originally owned all by House 20.
No, actually, it was owned by Harold Lowe.
Oh,
It was owned by Harold Lowe. You had 3 parcels of land that have been separated into the two pieces of land. Parcel C will be obviously an unbuildable lot, and parcel, I can't read that. Well, lot 1 it has been designed so that we could build on it and meet the zoning requirements for the region.
What does an unbuildable lot mean?
Well, parcel C doesn't equal the requirements for the zoning in that area, so it's just a lot. You won't be able to build on that in the future.
it does have frontage
On
on
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, which is.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, creating an undersized lot and then going to the Board of Appeals to get a variance to build on it.
that's
When the
not
zoning
balanced.
ordinance says that you can't split common ownership into undersized lots, so,
But Armand, I think it's already an A&R lot.
It is already an A&R lot.
what is
What we're discussing.
Lot 1.
Lot 1 is.
Lot 1.
lot 1?
It's already,
So
the
it's
configuration
already
you
been
see
approved.
has already been
So
approved.
what happened to parcel C?
It's just listed as a non-building lot.
Who's that gonna be owned by?
My,
And who's it going to?
it's still
Harold
his
Lot.
lot.
Yeah.
This is lot.
It's his lot.
Okay, and with no access to any public road?
Yeah, Roosevelt.
We can't approve that. Roosevelt's not a public way. And it's not a public way, and it's not accessible.
It's not on this.
But this
We're
is
not
not,
on that.
we're not on the A&R.
Somebody approved that already?
It's been approved
There's been a,
at the previous meeting.
Well,
They're building on lot 1, and this
well,
was
if it's been
before us as
approved,
an
it's a violation of the zoning ordinance. That's all I'm bringing up here. I don't know how it got approved. I guess I wasn't at that meeting.
Well, it was approved because it's, oh, you're saying because it's a private way?
That's correct.
Sir,
over here.
No,
I
it's a-
have been paying taxes on the little lot on the side.
No, but what I'm saying is that under the zoning, if you break lot 1 and parcel C up, if it's in common ownership, it can't be broken back down into smaller, undersized lots.
Okay, but when I bought the lot, that original lot on Cleveland Street, nothing on Roosevelt Street, at that time supposedly was a buildable lot. It was a buildable lot, just the,
Once you combine 2 small lots into common ownership, you can't then break them back apart. That's the zoning ordinance, that's the law.
then why have I been paying more money for that little bitty lot down there that goes on Cleveland Street? And why has the assessors been telling me that this is a house lot when
No,
it's
no,
no
we're not,
longer a
we're not
house lot?
talking about the one on Cleveland Street.
I'm talking about the one in Cleveland Street.
No, I'm talking about Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
So you're talking lot C?
Parcel
Then we-
Parcel C, the one that's behind your house.
Parcel C was part of a larger lot.
There's a larger
Was
lot.
part of a larger lot. See, actually, if I may,
Yes.
previously what you had is you had a lot in this little piece right here. This was one lot. This was a separate lot. So you had 3 lots, 1, 2, 3. What we requested with the A&R was to join these 2, creating this unbuildable lot. That's what went through at the last meeting. Now, when I went to the building inspector and the town planner with this design back in the summer and made these suggestions, they didn't have any problem with it at that time. They didn't voice any,
Yeah, that went through this.
I went through all the appropriate channels to do this.
I think the front lot would have been a buildable lot just on its own, but you actually attached the land in the back to make
Correct.
it per size.
To make it so that it would fit
So
the
the
zoning
front would have been
requirements.
grandfathered into a buildable lot anyways, but we
Right.
attached the
Right,
back.
they told me that was grandfathered into a buildable lot, well,
Right.
altogether. But then we are just adding this to it to satisfy the 21,000 square feet and making it a
Okay.
usable lot.
So you're gonna use that
comply
like
with
a
the
wood
present
lot?
rule.
Gonna use that like a wood lot?
It's just a wood
Let's see,
lot.
it's just wood.
Behind their house, they don't want anybody to build.
To extend the bocce court?
Are you deed restricting that? You going to put a deed restriction that nothing will ever be built there?
But you can't have it. You know,
Why not?
on this one? On this one here, we're dealing with just lot 1. Lot C was already done. We're not doing anything with lot C at this time. Lot C was done with an A&R plan previous.
I don't remember that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
So all we're
That
dealing
was
with is
my
lot 1.
question.
So we're not dealing with lot C at this time at all,
I understand.
okay? Okay, fine. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Here now, I'll declare this hearing closed. So I'll call for motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Hearing is closed. 6:45 hearing, public hearing for Mitch Gill, 435 Lancaster Street, Leominster, special permit for the purpose of building a duplex on the westerly side of Baker Street, an unaccepted street. Oh, I have my printer.
I have to look at.
This one?
So,
One.
Yeah, set up in the corner over here, please.
I was wondering if I could set up here for the public, and I have extra copies for...
No, but we set up there, everybody can see it there, and then also they can see it only, they do the, and we can see it, and
the camera doesn't see you over there.
what happened to, when you put it over there, you have to turn it this way so we can see it, and they can't see it at all.
I'm moving you over. Yeah.
Okay.
You have a couple extra copies. Good evening. My name is Mitch Gill. I'm of Boucher Construction Corporation. And we're here before the planning board for special permit to build on an unaccepted street. And the street is Baker Street, which runs between Wheeler and Florence Street and is located easterly of Lancaster Street. And the property consists of 13,470 square feet. It's odd shape, somewhat triangular shape to the property. And we're proposing to build a duplex on this lot. And there is no water supply protection districts in this area of the city. Also, this land does not fall within the flood hazard zone per the HUD maps. And it's zoned Residence B. We do meet all the Zone B requirements. And there is, as I said, it's going to be a duplex. And as far as the parking, there'll be 2 3-unit bedrooms per each unit. So there's 2 units, so there's a total of 4 spaces required and provided for each one. The topography of the land, for those who, I did have a site walk with some of the planning board members here, also with some of the DPW members. And it is rough terrain. The existing road, Baker Street right now, the existing pavement ends just approximately where this lot starts, which is this point right here. And the existing pavement, which is about 21.5 feet wide, it runs at about 8% slope, the existing grade. And what we are proposing to grade in front of this lot would be consistent with that 21.5 foot wide pavement. And it would be, again, at the same slope as existing 8%. And as a matter of fact, the last 30 feet in front of the lot would be less than 7% slope. And we would propose to carry the road up to the end of the property frontage. This property is owned by Ronald Torigny and Boucher Construction. Does have a purchase and sales agreement to obtain the property. And we would be the ones that would own it and build it and develop it. And again, and then from the existing road, it drops off considerably. And what we would be proposing to do would be to bring in some fill on the bottom of it to compact that, build on that. There would be a walkout in the back. And then the first floor elevation would be top of foundation, for example, on the highest one is approximately 396. In the road out in the street is 398. So top of foundation is approximately 2 feet lower than what the proposed road would be. And it's consistently with the other unit to the right would be, top of foundation would be 394. The road grade, Centerline Road, would be 396, so would again be about 2 feet below. And the units would be two-story, three-bedroom units. And again, it would be walkout in the basement. There is city water, city sewer, and right now, the water extends up to an existing hydrant, which is right to the start of the property. And we're proposing to move that hydrant up along 120 feet, 121 feet to the other end of the property. We would relocate it, and the water line would be extended to there. The existing sewer is a manhole partway up Baker Street, and we would be proposing to extend it to approximately the center of the lot to pick up sewer for both units. And I think that at this point, pretty much I've turned it over to the planning board.
Okay. Wasn't there a problem with the sewer or the gravity? Are you gonna have pumps on this, or what are you gonna do?
At this point, we're running a fine line. We would obviously like to run gravity sewer, that's what we're shooting for. But once we get in, excavate and get down to subsoil, then we'll take another look at it then and see, you know, because we don't want to raise that lot too much just for gravity sewer. Ray Racine wanted to see a 4-foot minimum cover, even over the sewer coming out of the foundation. So that would make it tough. So there is a good possibility that both of those units would be ejector pumps.
Okay, because you're showing a sewer connection here,
Right.
and from what we had from our sidewalk,
Right.
is you can't do it, because you were saying 2 feet, and you've got to pick up another 2 feet somewhere.
Well, that's why we would take a look at excavating, see if we've got 1 foot of top soil. If we've got 3 feet, that 2-foot difference could make a difference in the top of foundation and where the sewer line it ties in. So really, we won't know that till we get to subsoil.
Okay.
Now, you were saying top of foundation would be what?
It would be 396 on the unit on the left and 394 on the unit on the right. So it's a 2-foot step in the building.
So I'm showing a slab elevation of 386 and 388. On the plan.
That's correct. That's correct.
So we're still talking...
3 feet, you're talking 3 feet of fill, once, possibly 4 feet of fill, once the topsoil is removed. So that's why I'm saying, and if we find out it's deeper, if the subsoil is an additional 2 feet on top of that, we're not gonna wanna fill 6 feet and build on 6 feet of fill just to make gravity sewer.
Okay. Well, how far back would you have to go into the sewer to drop it down to give you the 2 feet?
That, again, we won't know until construction, until that time.
Because if you came back down to here, if you redid that sewer back some, you've got a grade there.
That's a possibility. That is a possibility, but I really don't know that, you know, until we see what the existing grade's gonna be.
Well, we don't know that until you tell us.
That is a possibility.
I mean, we have to know what you're gonna do.
Well, if we can meet gravity, that's what we're gonna do. If we can't, then we're gonna go with 2 ejector pumps.
Okay. What about the road width? I know this building up here next to you. There's another lot up there, and I know when we walk, there's a whole big lot up on the left-hand side also.
Correct. And now, as far as road width,
On those, no, I mean, how many more houses can be built up in that area? There's residential B.
well, there is an additional, excuse me 1 minute. There's an additional 250 feet up to Florence Street, beyond us.
Okay. 250?
An additional 250 feet up to Florence Street. This here is really small.
But once
Okay,
you,
this is our lot right here. Here's Baker Street,
Right.
here's Wheeler Street, and here's Florence Street, okay? Here's our lot. Now, right now, this lot here is a separate owner. And then these parcels, I'm not sure. We did look into, see if they were available, but I believe it's this lot, it's one of these two lots here. Whoever owned it passed away and haven't even had any opportunity to get in touch with the person. And as far as this lot, this is all one contiguous lot here by this owner that lives up on Florence Street, and there's two existing homes here. So to answer your question, this is all owned by this.
but that would be off of Florence.
Yeah, this is off of Florence, and there's an existing house there. It's all owned by whoever owns this house.
How about on the other side?
Over here, I don't have this assessor's map with me, but that one there,
Looks like a big open field.
it's not. It looked like that, yes, in the field, but it's not. There's some land that's owned by Amico, I guess, which is, that area's been in their name for a long time. And then there is also...
Amico.
Amico, I'm sorry, Amico.
Amico.
I'm sorry, Amico.
Yeah.
And also, up on Florence Street, there's a three-family that owns a huge lot in that area. So that would have to possibly, they'd have to try and split up that three-decker lot somehow. I don't know if that's even viable.
No.
Right, so I don't think that there's really that many other homes that could be built there.
Okay. We're just trying to find out
Right.
what's going on. 'Cause
Right.
it never happens. Just happened on Cleveland Street. You put in one house and say, oh no, nothing else can be built there. And 6 months later, we got 3 other houses in there.
Well,
And
but
it
there
just
is,
happens.
right, but there is, as I said, on both sides of Baker, there are existing homes, on both sides of it, and up to Florence Street. The house is front on Florence Street, and they own huge lots that go down back in front, partly on Baker Street.
On Florence, correct.
Right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So there's a lot of potential up there.
I hope not.
No.
Well, the other, possibility too would be to go in and meet road grade too. I mean, you're going up a pretty slope once you get up beyond this too. So you'd have your work cut out for you that way too.
Well, we may do that here too. Okay. Thank you. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, good. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak in favor of this? Anyone wishes to speak in favor? Okay, anyone wishes to speak in opposition?
My concern is the vernal pool.
Please,
Oh, I'm
just
sorry.
please stand and identify yourself. That's just for the record, so,
My name is Susan Mayhew. My mother lives at 28 Florence Street, Salvatore property, which owns all the way down and will abut this person by, I think it's 100 feet that will share common. There is a vernal pool there. I do have a letter from a biologist. We walk the land. You're more than welcome to see this letter. If nothing else, we want to at least postpone this till we can determine that it is in fact a vernal pool. Anybody that's grown up in that neighborhood can tell you that every spring it floods down. It doesn't flood. There is a frog pond there. Anybody that ever grew up in that neighborhood can tell you about getting tadpoles out of that pond. There's been other signs of a vernal pool, as that letter will testify. Our concern is, and my sister-in-law is right here, she owns the house with my mother. What's going to happen to that vernal pool? It's on our property, and I'm assuming it's on this property too.
so the pool is in this area here?
I can
Back corner.
answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we have had a wetlands expert walk the property for us, and approximately in this area here, there is some low gradient. It's got nowhere to go. This property here drains this way, this comes down the hill, this is low point. But it is a gravelly area, so it does leach very well. We have filed with Conservation for determination of applicability. We have also filed with DEP, and we're waiting on their return remarks. And we have filed that it is an isolated wetlands, but is not subject to flooding.
Have you staked, you don't show it on here, you haven't staked it, or you haven't shown it?
No, it's not shown on this plan, no.
Okay. Do I have anyone else which is having can say? We'll go this way. Okay, sir.
Dave Samard, I live up on Amico Ave and own property on Baker Street across from this development. Mitch stated right off that he wasn't aware of any wetlands issues right in the beginning, then changed his mind and said you knew something about that.
I don't believe I spoke that at all. I didn't say any wetland issues.
Let's not have,
But anyway,
he speaks to now.
I've lived in the area 25 years and have witnessed that area to be wet on a regular basis. My second question, anyway, to Mitch was on the topography of the land. When were these elevations determined? Were these recent surveys or something from past history?
This here was from past history, which I'm not sure exact time, but it was taken from a previous survey.
Yeah. Those who've walked that area, I know some of the planning board has, and you mentioned there's quite a steep grade. There's probably about a 20+ foot drop off. My land is across the street, and one of the concerns being is if you do extend this road at all and change the grade, you were saying it's like maybe a 7 to 8% grade, beyond your lot that you're proposing to develop, the grade probably changes to about a 15 to 20% grade as Baker Street extends toward Florence Street. And I'm just concerned that if we want to develop this lot, which is developable across from yours, it's a 10,000 square foot lot, that we could have a problem with this berm you're proposing.
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
The first issue, what I had stated was that this does not lie in any water supply protection district. And the second statement I made was that the land shown here does not, graphically, is not situated in a 100-year flood hazard zone, the HUD maps. And I do have those available to you.
Yeah, we're not, but you're outside the flood zone, I know that.
Right, but that was my earlier comment, just to clarify that.
Okay.
And we would have to meet subdivision rules and regulations for this road grade. So we're well aware that what we put in here would meet the city's rules and regulations and specs.
Well, there's potentially probably 4 more house lots in that, on Baker Street, between our family and the people on the other side. So to dead end that street right there and have any kind of berm would only cause future problems for us. If I were here before you and looking to get an approval for a building lot on the other side of Baker Street, I'd be looking to raise the grade of that street and change the rate from probably 7% to 15% so I could get a nice clean pass to the top of the hill where there's another lot available to us.
Well, that may be nice, but I think you'd have a hard time getting that approved by the city.
Yes,
Right, but I don't want to see you cut the grade.
we don't allow that kind of grade.
Yeah.
7% anyway, right now.
This is around 7.
Yeah.
It actually gets quite steep if you've walked in there.
Yeah, we did. I did.
That's all we allow is 7%.
Yeah. So the rest of that hill would have to be cut back.
It would have to be cut.
Yeah.
The lot you're concerned with is on the other side of Wheeler Street?
On the other side of Baker Street.
The other side of Baker.
Opposite of where this.
When we walk in,
Show me exactly where that is.
you know that other new house was built next to that?
Clear where exactly it is. The one you're concerned with.
Right here.
This here is 16.
It's higher than the existing house.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes up higher. And of course, if this gets cut down at all, that's why my question about the elevation. There's been a dozer in here at one time. So I don't know if truly these elevations reflect what they are today. because there is about a 20-foot drop off. We had determined.
Yeah, because it looks like there was a sand pit right across there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And this one, from this point, actually goes uphill.
Yes.
If we want to put a house in, which is.
Okay, let's not have private meetings.
I just
Okay.
explained to you
I
what
just
a lot
want to know
is.
what
Procedure is.
the lot he was referring to.
Yeah, that's that lot.
Location.
Now I understand.
Know the new house that was there? It's above that in the sand pit.
I couldn't.
You got the sand pit and then you got another lot
Yeah,
above that?
It's all this terrace stuff, yeah.
Right.
It's on Baker Street.
Right.
Which,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, because you got the old sand pit there.
and I think that other lot he's talking about possibly may start at the very closest in the center of this lot.
Yeah, it does.
Right, right,
But really, what they got to say.
okay.
Argue with something specific.
Okay, fine. We'll get these, let's see what
Oh,
it
that's
is.
really.
Ma'am, you had a question?
I just wanted to say
Just
that
please identify yourself.
my name is Lisa Simard, and
She can't hear anything and she's saying everything.
I own land across the street along with my husband. And I just wanted to say that I'm sure that Susan is in the process of trying to get the vernal pool certified. And once it does get certified as a vernal pool, that it is protected by the Massachusetts Wetlands Acts and state and local federal regulations too.
We'll have to get that verified.
Right. I'm not sure how long that takes, but I imagine it's more than several months because you need to take soil samples and send them into the state, and then they would verify it.
Right. There's a whole process to that.
Right, we have it here.
You've got the process?
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
okay. Beautiful. Excuse me. Do I have anyone else wishes to speak? Yes, sir. Please identify
Michael
yourself.
Rinaldi, Wheeler Street, 42 Wheeler Street. Who identifies whether or not this is a vernal pool and at whose expense is this done? Is this,
It can be done one of two ways. It can be done privately, or it can be done through the Conservation Commission.
I know for a fact, I've lived on Wheeler Street since the early 80s, and the kids always skate on that pond in the wintertime. So it does hold water, and it's pretty soggy right now, and we haven't had any rain. But if you walk back there now, as some of your planning board members
The
will
light
tell
tried
you,
the day I was there, but
it's
it was
mucky.
real wet.
It's real
It's
mucky.
always wet, since we were
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
since my mom was a kid.
Do I have anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Kim Janes. Emiko's my family. My mother grew up in the house, the big lot that he doesn't know anything about, that owns that big lot that along
Right,
Baker.
on the left-hand side.
Over 3/4 of an acre, yeah. I'm concerned with the berm that's going in along Baker Street, abutting my property, and what's gonna happen there.
You're on the left
You
hand.
were talking about splitting it up, that's the only thing I heard and that stuck with me is,
What's that?
he was talking about splitting up to 3 lots because it's a 3-family, or,
No, he was just talking supposition.
yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's
The
not
berm, how
part-
that
That's not part
affects.
of this plan at all.
Yeah.
Although, what we were trying to figure out was in fact, what is the future development possible on Baker? So if we have to make anything to the road, that the road is made to the future width to adapt to any other houses that may be built in that area, so that we don't have a subsidized road. Because if it did in fact, if it could in fact be built, and I'm not sure whether it can or not, and it seems like the grades are going to be quite severe, because the city only allows a 7% grade. But with the cost of lots today, it would not be difficult for somebody to go in there and cut that road all the way through, if they could buy those other 2 lots, or all 3 lots, and cut that through all the way over to Florence Street, and then you'd have a road that would be a cut-through. And then we have to allow for passage, and so that's what I want to see is that may or may not, with the houses, I've already had another builder mention to me that he has an option on a piece of land up there. So I know that's already coming, that's in the works.
It's bigger, because it's not on our side.
Well, it's on the other side. So that's a potential, and all it is a potential. So I'm just trying to keep that, if that's gonna happen, people own land, and the planning board, this is where it becomes difficult a lot of times, is we follow the zoning rules and regulations. And people laugh at us when I say it's the Board of Permitted Uses. And what we mean by that is if somebody owns land, and if they can meet the rules and regulations, the city zoning and the state regulations, then they have the right to build on that property. But they have to get by all the rules and regulations. Vernal pools, road width, road grade, sewerage, and things like that, they have to meet those, you know, and when they put a house, they can't, and a certain size to the lot, and where you locate a house on the lot, and you have to be able to prove to us that you can put the house on the lot and also meet the setback requirements, side setback, front setback without, and if you can't do that, then you have to go to the Board of Appeals, and the Board of Appeals is the Board of Non-Permitted Regulations. So if you want to put a house on a lot, and you want to put it on a subsidized lot, you go to the Board of Appeals, or if you want to put it, you want to put the house 10 or 5 feet from the sideline, you go to the Board of Appeals. But you have to do that prior, for something like that, prior then to come up to the planning board. So we try to work together between the two boards, and that's pretty much where we deal, just so that people understand how the two boards work and where we are. Okay, so we're looking at the rules, the width, the road, the sewerage, the lot itself, okay? And basic placement of the houses on that lot.
Someone's gonna go out and check the grade again before considering.
Oh, yeah,
Those numbers compared to, I mean, I was sledding there with my kids day before yesterday, they can't even sled down there, it's so steep.
Right.
So,
Oh, that'd be a good hill to slide on.
used to be, so, yeah, it's a little,
Okay, do I have anyone else that has any questions?
Well, my name's Barry Corliss, and I live on 34 Florence Street in Baker Street, and my land has a fence on the end of it, and from my land, after that thing goes straight down. Now, the other building you're talking about, I had a fellow up there who wants to put a house right behind my, well, I don't see how you're gonna do it, unless you put up a 16-foot wall and bury it, and then put another 8-foot wall on top of that, which has been done. But
That's what we call a double foundation.
I don't want to see that forest start coming down.
Well, I don't blame you either, so, but that's, the nature of the business is that,
Money.
yeah, it's money. If people are moving, they're looking, these are available lots, and, people are looking for, I'm gonna call it affordable housing, and this is the type of housing that's affordable. The new houses being built in the other divisions are in the $500,000, $600,000, and $700,000 range. That is not affordable for the average guy. So that's why it's putting a lot more pressure on these smaller lots and the smaller builders to seek out these small lots and build these homes that are in the, I'm not sure what they're gonna sell them for, I don't want, but I'm gonna say affordable range up to a couple $100,000 in that general range. So that's making those houses much more valuable, making those lots more susceptible to be built on. And that's why we're seeing so much of that today. We're actually seeing more building permits on existing lots, onesie-twosies within the city than we do on the big developments. Probably twice as much. Yes, sir.
Before any approval could be given to this project, would you require that another map be drawn up with the correct or new elevations of this area to confirm that these are right? So that we know, as an adjacent abutter, that I can have the confidence that that road height will be workable for myself to develop that lot across the street. I just don't want to find out that they go in there and do something that then negatively impacts me from being able to develop that lot, because that lot is an approved building lot. There's no issues there that, as far as building anything on it. The size is good, it's nice and high, it's totally dry, sand, I mean, it's like perfect.
Well, it used to be a sand pit.
Yeah, it's like perfect, it's an easy build, it's just, we don't want to build right now on it, but I may want to in 5 years. And then our relative on the same side of the street she could choose to subdivide that 3/4 acre lot and get one more building lot back there on Baker Street adjacent to the piece I'm talking about.
Right.
So there's a possibility of 2 more homes
I'm
there.
seeing 2 to 4.
Yeah, and 2
Two on your
more on
side,
the
two
other
on the
side. So the termination of that Baker Street, the way it's proposed, may, not work.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do I have any other questions from someone from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Could you just explain what the process is if that is certified by the state to be a vernal pool, since it's within 100 feet of where they're proposing to build? What's the process from your
That, once
department?
that becomes certified, it is in fact a vernal pool, that becomes the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission,
Okay,
okay? You also have that board, and they deal with wetlands, vernal pools, and things like that. So then, that they could make a determination, on that property, that you have to be 100 feet from that vernal pool, and it virtually makes that an unbuildable lot.
This is what they're doing.
And just to let you know, for some reason, the Leominster Conservation Commission has told us that there's no further action required. And I don't know why, given the information that you've provided us.
So we'll be requesting, we'll be requesting some information from them. Okay. Has this gone to the conservation?
Yes, it has. This has been,
Okay, yeah, I know, I saw that, and I was so surprised.
it has been submitted to conservation and to DEP.
Have they had their meeting?
No.
Okay.
Oh, then I'm not aware of it. It may be. I'm not aware of it.
That's it from that. No, okay. Okay, very good. Members on the board, do I have any questions for members on the board?
I have, I think, 2 questions for Mr. Gill.
Okay.
You're calling this a duplex, correct? So they're two, it's going to be considered one building, but they're
Family needs 12.
they're 2 living residences side by side.
12 for a single.
And
They can use 10.
I'm just wondering, and I just don't know the answer, I've been trying to check this. The building department says that the required lot size is 25,000 square foot minimum. I don't know where he gets that number because I can't find it in the Residence B. I know where you get your number, that the lot size shall be at least 12.5 under
That's
new
correct.
2-family attached residence. Do you have any insight as to where Mr. Cataldo came up with the 25,000 square foot minimum?
No, I don't. I'm agreeing with what you read.
He's talking about a condo association being in place. Maybe that's the difference, Gavin.
No, that doesn't require a condo, I don't know.
Well, that's what his.
I don't know why he says that the only other spot I see, if he's considered an
For
apartment,
apartments, you need
it's 20,000.
20,000 plus 5,000 for each additional unit.
That's probably what he's thinking of. But an apartment can be
But
a
these
one unit.
apartments, these are not apartments.
No, if you look up the definition of duplex,
They're probably,
a duplex is a house containing 2 dwelling units side by side, in which no part of the dwelling unit is over any part of the other. So these 2 are side by side, but it's considered one principal building occupying 1 lot for the purpose of determining yard requirements. But then my next question is, how many parking spaces did you say you had?
4.
4. Well, under 2, can you tell me how you came up with that? Because under this it says 2 new, if you're going under section 22-19, 2 new 2-family attached residence buildings are allowed in Residence B, provided that there shall be at least 3 off-street parking spaces per building. Oh, you're considering
Yeah,
this
right.
one building, so you're actually,
I have
now that
4.
I've read that out loud, he has one
Yeah.
extra.
Oh, when they go to 3-bedroom, they need 2 per unit,
Correct.
so they need 4, and he has 4.
And he has 4, okay. I think that's what I had. Okay, then that's aspect, I'm just trying, I think now I know where Mr. Cataldo came up with his 12.
but where is this 4? But where do you see the? Oh,
Side by
1, 2,
side.
3, 4, okay.
4.
Side by side.
Do these have garages?
Okay, I couldn't see it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Couldn't see the lines. Old age, I guess.
The only issue I have is with what Ms. Mayhew's brought up with the vernal pool. Is the only,
Well, I
I'm
think-
not saying I'm in agreement or disagreement, I just don't know the answer to that. Now that my other questions have been answered.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Here none, a motion is ordered to close this hearing? Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Mitch, when we met there with the planning board, I actually asked you about this, and I don't remember what we had arrived at. But assuming that you're gonna be building up, assuming this goes through, and you're able to put the fill in on the lower end, what were you planning on doing as far as, were you looking at a retaining wall, or were you looking at grading?
Grading. Again, based upon the existing topography that we use, we're just marrying into the side of the slope at 3 to 1.
On the other side?
On this side here,
Right.
we're grading, we're meeting it and coming downhill this way. So right now it drains this way and it will still drain that way. We're not going to build up higher than what's here now. It's going to go down to our line.
That's what you just said.
Would that, is it possible that that would cause more of a drainage problem for the people living there?
Yeah.
No, because what we're going to do is, when we get to the point, we will do a drainage analysis of the lot, of the area, and if it requires a retention basin, we will install one.
I'm gonna stop right here. You said this about 4 times now. If we see it requires, we'll do it. That's not the way we do business in this city. First, you give me a plan that's complete. You determine up front, number one, that the grade is 7%. I don't see it at 7%. You're close. It's not gonna exceed 7%. Also, if you got a drainage problem, and I can see a possible drainage problem, that you will mitigate that, you'll look at it, you'll have it on your plan. That if there is wetlands, I've seen it, there is wetlands on the plan, you show the wetlands on the plan. I don't think you're prepared.
We had a wetlands expert look at it, and the wetlands do not meet the state requirements.
Where's your report? I mean, you can't answer me how you're gonna do the search. It's a what if. And the DPW was quite clear that they wanted to see a plan.
They want to see
They don't want to see a what?
They want to see 4 feet of cover.
That's correct.
If we cannot obtain 4 feet of cover, they will be sewer ejector pumps.
But that doesn't match the plan that you're showing drainage.
That's the only copy I have.
Okay, this is from Alton Engineering. Right.
We want to know what they are.
Yeah. This is, yeah, oh, I know Alton Stone, and he is an expert,
Right.
but he's not, he's a hired engineer. He's your engineer.
As for wetlands and wetlands only.
Yeah. And your engineer has determined that it's not wetlands.
Correct.
Okay, and
So that's why we haven't shown it, and I don't know what the board wants. We had an expert look at it, he says it's not wet.
okay, and I think we need a determination from Mr. Piamarini and the Conservation Commission.
Which we have filed for and asked for,
Right,
and I'm still
right.
waiting on that.
Okay, that's
My
fine.
understanding is going before them in December. I've spoken with them, and I
Okay.
think it's before them in December.
Okay.
I have a question. Rick Kamataris. My mother lives on the right side on Wheel Street, where it's gonna, if he raises his land, it's gonna flood my mother's backyard.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's what
what
we-
David was saying.
That's just what we, exactly what.
right.
That's exactly what I just said, is that we don't wanna see a
Exactly.
what if, we wanna see that, the assumption that it is going to, and that there will be some kind of retention, or some way to capture that water and bring it to the back of the property, some kind of retention pond, or something like that. Now, it seems like, from the neighborhood, it seems like it is a wet area. When I looked at it, it seemed to be a wet area. So, I think this is one that really, is the Conservation Commission is gonna have a lot to say on this one. Okay. And I really, and I don't wanna do their job. Okay, we have a good working relationship, but I think I really am looking for their opinion.
I should have taken copies like this.
The other thing is, okay. Fine, Alan? You had a comment on this approximate?
Well, the drawing says that all of this is approximate, but we don't want approximate. We want to see what you're going to do.
I understand.
Finalized.
I think, with what I've seen here, and we haven't even gotten into the road yet. I think the road, I want to make the input, is the road at the 20 feet that it is now is insufficient.
It's at 21 and a half.
Oh, 21 and a half. And if we're gonna have these other 4 or 5 houses, the potential, then we're gonna wanna go to at least a 24. So this road on part of this is gonna have to be widened out, and it's gonna be brought into that grade. I think that's something that should be worked into the plan. There are enough questions I have here, with the questions with the conservation, and the questions with the not seeing any detentions, and your own admission that you haven't done your own, the topography is old, that it should be verified, that this hearing should be continued. And that this drawing and these approximations be corrected, and that a complete plan be engineered and resubmitted to us. Now, I can do one or two things. I can continue this for a time definite, or we can turn around and we can close the hearing. If we close the hearing and we vote on it, there may be enough issues here that the members could vote against it, and then it'd be 2 years before you could come back.
And you need a supermajority.
And you need all 5
4 out
votes.
of 5, all 5 votes.
You need all 5 votes tonight. So,
I'd ask for continuance.
okay. 2 months?
Yeah, no, I'm not at that.
Yes.
1 month, is that possible?
What's our schedule?
Well, when we give you the January, because we only have one meeting, it's already loaded up that first week in December, and then we run right into that Christmas week.
First meeting in January?
The first meeting in January.
And it would be nice to hear from the conservation.
January, so that's gonna...
Okay, the problem that's gonna be with the conservation is, as everyone knows, a vernal pool does not have to be wet year-round. Although it did absolutely show evidence of being soggy, that is not what happens to that pool, Frog Pond, for those of us that grew up in the neighborhood. So the time that it's active is in the spring with the runoff. So if you're continuing for the 2 months or whatever.
No.
It's not continuing for an acceptance, it's continuing the hearing.
It's continuing for the hearing.
Oh, okay.
And then he's gonna come back.
So this is still gonna give us time
Oh, yeah.
to determine whether or not, I mean, if it's not a vernal pool, I apologize, but if it is, I want to protect it.
That's right.
And so we
No,
can-
all this is, we've given him some general information.
Okay.
We pretty much said in general that these drawings do not meet what we're looking for. There are a number of questions. We have some issues that I have to clarify with the building inspector, because he gave us a statement. He didn't approve it because of size, some statements, and I want to get some input from the Conservation Commission. And I want to see a plan and something in here for drainage, because I've seen the hill here.
Mitch on note 7. Note 7
What is it,
says
January?
that detention basins should receive maintenance. I'd like you to get rid of that should. And let's have something more definite there. So, note 1, get rid of approximate. Note 7, get rid of should. We don't like shoulds or approximates.
Will.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay. Motion is in order to continue until,
1/4 at.
what's the date? January 4th? January 4th at 6:30.
January 4th at 6:30.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay. 7 o'clock hearing. I'm glad to see we're on schedule. Public hearing for Peter and Deborah Phillips, 1215 Main Street, Leominster, definitive subdivision plan for 6 proposed lots on Mary Avenue. This was continued, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, you continued to tonight, that's right. I'm getting confused, I'm sorry.
No problem.
That's right. Did we get a little chance to look at that?
Yeah, we have it there.
Here's the plans, we went for the site walks. We get the, yeah. We get the letter on the tree. On the sidewalk.
Yes.
It's in here, yeah.
Like a Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I think. No.
Sad you have to sit on the side again.
I'm so sick of this. Why don't we move the camera?
Well, we have a better...
I'd like to move the camera out in the hallway.
I know.
Nothing against you, Mr. Cameraman.
That's Kevin.
I think he likes Mr. Cameraman.
Okay, you're on.
Okay. My name is Eric Wilhelmsen. I'm with Hannigan Engineering. The applicant is proposing to construct a 6-lot subdivision, which will be accessed along a 500-foot long cul-de-sac as measured from the intersection of Bella Villa and Mary Ave. They're proposing to provide municipal water by looping a water main from Forsythia Ave across an easement out into the site and back out onto Bella Villa or Main Street, wherever they determine that they can connect with the water main. Similarly, they'll be extending a sewer main from the existing sewer on Forsythia Road across that same easement and out to the site to provide sewer for all 6 lots. We'll be providing a series of catch basins and manholes along the proposed roadway, catch the runoff and drainage routed to a detention basin in this corner of the site, which has been designed to mitigate the pre- and post-development flows. The proposed pavement was approved preliminary as a 20-foot wide pavement with a sidewalk along the eastern or the western edge of the roadway down to the intersection of Mary Ave, and at the request of the planning board, extend that along Bella Villa out to Main Street.
20 foot?
What it is?
On the road width?
28.
Or 28,
Did
okay.
I say 20?
Yeah. What
What was that?
You're wishing for 20.
No, 20 is too narrow. There's a small isolated wetland on the site, which we'll be filing with conservation to have them address that issue. It is an isolated wetland. We're expecting it to be determined as the conservation as an isolated wetland, non-jurisdictional. At this point,
Anything
anything else to add?
Okay. Good. Do I have anyone that wishes to speak in favor of this? Yes, sir.
Yes, Joe Brown, live at 1213 Main Street, and we're butters to Pete, and we're for the project. We think it'd be good for that area.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Yes, sir.
Jeff Coco, 14 Bellavilla Ave. The drainage area, the drainage issues in my section of that neighborhood have been well chronicled. Anything that might help the existing drainage in that area, I am in favor of it. So I think this neighborhood would do that. So I just want to voice my opinion and say that I'm in favor of it.
So you think that...
Are you the corner house?
You think that their drainage plan will help?
Yes, just anything that might have a chance of pulling water away from my lot right there. is
Yeah,
where
the
I was
corner
trying to
lot,
get.
right.
Anything that may have a chance to divert water away from the flow. Seems like everything ends up towards my backyard or the back corner of my yard. And this plan here looks like it will do that, so that's why I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Pat Brown. I live at 1213 Main Street, and I'm also in favor of the petition.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Do you have anyone else?
Robert Flood, I live at 1211. I'm also a butters to the Brown and Peter and Debbie, and I was just wondering what kind of, excuse me, what kind of buffer zones are going to be in place and implemented between the proposed plot plan and our properties?
Well, under the subdivision regulations, there's a requirement for a 20-foot open space buffer that's planted with screening vegetation. That's in the actual subdivision regulations.
How would the water plan reflect the high water table to help drain water away from the houses along 1211 and our abutters north and south on Route 13 because of the high water table? Would that cause any impact?
The
construction that's going to be going on.
Are you?
Right here. 1211, right where Peter and Debbie's house is, that
Right
corner?
here?
Yep.
Well, all the drainage, all the construction is occurring downhill from those lots. We can't anticipate what's going to happen to groundwater flows. We just generally deal with surface flows. So I can't make any sort of prediction on groundwater.
I agree. Pete, if you can get that water.
That's everybody, yeah. It looks like you have retention basins in there. They're gonna be picking up the water off the roads, and they got a retention basin on the bottom side. If you can see that, the darker green area.
See it down
You want to point it out?
Yeah.
So any will be diverted off of that road and brought down to that detention basin.
The site.
What's the elevation from their properties? Is it listed there down
Yes.
to where we're going?
The site actually drains all the way from the top all the way down to here.
What the elevation?
The grade down at the bottom is 74, so it's about a 26-foot drop from the top down to the bottom.
If that answers any of your questions.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully it'll help.
Okay. Do I have anyone else that wishes to speak on this? Yes, ma'am.
Jane Duffy, 1205 Main Street. I noticed on the plans, and I know that it's there, there's a pie-shaped parcel of land that belongs to, or belonged to, a man named Coleman, or a family named Coleman. I don't know how big it is. I know it's pie-shaped. I know that part of it is behind my land, and a bigger part is behind the floods. I don't know how big it is, and I don't know what will happen to that or who really owns it. I think it's important. It's land that can't be used because there's no
Yeah.
access in or out.
It is shown on the drawing. You can explain it?
Well, not on the one I saw. Didn't show how big it was or who it belongs to or what's going to happen to it.
During the,
Is it public land? Is it
Okay.
what?
during the research in the property lines and determining where the property lines are, our survey department, went through all the deeds and the plans of record, and in establishing what parcels were sold off and reincorporated back into other pieces and so on and so forth. It appears that there was a little sliver that was left over somehow. And
Okay,
I
so
can't really
that's
explain
an
why it's
individual
there.
lot, that little pie shape?
Yeah, it
Correct.
says Joseph Coleman right on it.
Yeah, it's an old book and page.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How long have you lived in the property you live there?
I've lived there 10 years now.
10 years? Do you
And
mow that
nobody
area?
uses that, so I knew it was something, and,
Do you like use it at all? Do you use
No,
that
nobody
support?
uses
Like,
it.
is it distinguishable from your
well, on
land?
the floods, I noticed that and they have the biggest piece, that it's mowed, etc. But on the rest of it, it's just left natural, and, well, I took out old tires and things like that, but.
If I was you, I would use it until Mr. Coleman kicked you
No,
off.
I would use it for another 10 years, would put something back there, and potentially it could be yours by adverse possession. I don't know how long this would flood.
That was really my question.
Put a sign there that has your name on it.
From where to where? From my...
If it's on that property on your side. I don't want to get into that, but they did, on this drawing, you can come up here later and look at it, or at the end of this meeting, he'll take it out to the hallway. Or he's got a copy here that he can pass back to you. It is shown that there is a little piece of sliver of land. It's probably, looks to me, it's probably 1/10 of an acre, if that.
Yeah.
And it'll never be used. It's owned by Mr. Coleman, whoever Mr. Coleman is.
Unless he's gonna be watching this.
And if he's watching, he may show up, I'm not sure. But right now, there is a little sliver of land and it's landlocked and has no access.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
The 20-foot buffer zone, does it start at the end of that piece?
Yes.
It starts at the edge of
that
property
piece?
line. That is correct. Not your property line, but
No,
your
that
property line is in between.
Okay.
So you will actually pick up whatever
Another couple feet.
whatever the
Okay,
width there
that's
is.
good.
Your land looks like it's about 2 feet.
Okay.
But you would pick that up. Okay? Very good. Do I have anyone that's in opposition to this project? Yes, sir.
My name is Andrew Chikabowski. I live at 31 Forsythia Road in Leominster. I've been a resident of Forsythia Road for the last 2 years. And this is kind of the first time I've heard of the potential development of the property in back of us. I abut. First of all, let me extend a thank you very much for the builders, the owners of the property that met with us. And we did express our concerns to them at the time. They were very cordial, and I thank you very much for that. That being said, we're not loving having the land in back of us being developed. Why? 6 houses equals 12 cars. Pressure on Route 13, which, I mean, you're not going to be able to take a left off that road when those 12 cars hit the street to begin with. 6 lawnmowers, 6 snow blowers, a minimum of 18 people, pressure on city services, removal of the buffer land between the properties between Mary Ave and us that will increase noise levels from the baseball field that's in back of it. We're already hearing loudspeakers as they are now. Can only imagine whether it's going to happen when you strip all that land back there. Given said that, which is not specific, you know, these are all environmental issues for the people who live on the street. My large concern is the retention pond and where it's located next to our property. And the property that abuts mine, David Hopper, and abuts him. That retention pond is what we view, given where that buffer is. I'd like to know exactly how far that retention pond is between that, where it is now, the end of it, to the property line. Is it 20 feet? Is it 30 feet? What is it? And what is that going to look like? Okay, because I have a picture of what it looks like right now off my back deck. Okay, so what I'm looking at is a huge retention pond off my back deck, and I'm not liking it. Okay, now we've discussed with the builder that, yes, we're going to be into a whole new set of sightlines, which is going to potentially affect maybe the sale of a house. My house. The next time if I put my property up for sale and somebody's looking off my back deck at a retention pond, I'm very possibly not going to get a sale. Or it may affect the property values. I may not get the same property value for that house. Add to that, basically, yes, you're coming right out. You're gonna dig a trench out, and I think this is proposed for spring. So now you're gonna build a trench out in the spring, out to Forsythia Road. You're gonna deforest the land in the spring. Construction equipment, the nailing, the hammering. You have just ruined my summer.
We're all gonna hear that.
It's going to be devastating. You know, strip that land. And when in Leominster can we say no to something? All right. So I've said my piece. If this goes through, yes, I would like a fence between my property and Dave Hopper's property, so I don't see that, and my property value won't be affected. Thank you.
Also, address your question as to the distance the detention basin is from the property lines. The edge of the berm, as it begins to slope down into the basin itself, is about 25 feet off the edge of the property.
And how deep is that one?
It's 3 feet deep,
3
approximately
feet.
3 feet.
And can you please explain how that works?
Well, the detention basin accepts all the rainwater that's collected by the catch basins and manholes, brings it down into the detention basins.
See water when it rains, and it will bring out.
There's an outlet structure which has orifices at a certain elevation, so as the water rises within the detention basin, it begins outflowing through the various orifices to match the pre and post flow conditions. The detention basin is also provided...
What is pre and post? Please speak to these people so that they understand. Don't speak to me. I'm asking the question so that they understand. Okay, I can answer the question.
Okay. It's part of doing... Sorry. It's part of doing development for subdivision. One of the requirements is to match pre-development flow conditions off the site, which is the amount of rainwater runoff which is flowing off the site for any particular design point. And the design point being the place where the majority of the rainwater actually flows towards, be it a gully or a low point actually on the property. And under post-development, when you introduce increased impervious areas, changes to land use, such as going from a wooded area to a grass lawn, you increase the amount of runoff. And in order to mitigate the changes in the amount of flow that you're getting, generally you have to put in a detention basin. detention basin allows the accumulated flows to collect, sit in the basin, and gets released at a much slower rate than it would normally be released if the basin wasn't there. A good analogy that I've heard is, in pre-development you have like a garden hose at the top of your site. You turn on the garden hose, there's a certain amount of water coming through it. In post-development, with all the increase in impervious areas and changes in land use, that garden hose becomes more of a fire hose. So you got much more water coming out. What the detention basin acts like is taking that fire hose, putting it into like a bathtub, and then you take a garden hose out of the bathtub so the flows are equal or less. And that's the primary function of a detention basin.
Eric, can you explain what it physically looks like?
It's just a grassed depression. It's all loam and seeded. It's all completely grassed. There's it's generally a berm that will come up. You'll grade up. There'll be a flat area around the top, so you can get access all the way around the detention basin, and then it slopes down into the center of the basin. There is a emergency outflow structure, which is at the end here, right next to the primary outflow structure. The emergency overflow is just a weir that's cut into the berm. It's only about a foot deep into the berm. It's just all stoned and riprap. And the stone and riprap is to prevent the berm from washing out when the flow would potentially get that high and begin flowing over. You don't want it to be able to be washed out, so you need to armor it with the stone. The primary outflow structure is merely an elevated manhole structure which sticks partially up out of the ground. It's just concrete and it has some orifices in it to allow the water to exit out at certain elevations.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Quick question, who would be responsible for the maintenance of that? Would the city be involved in the maintenance of that?
Once a part of any subdivision, part of our regulations that we have today is that part of the bonding for any development, one of the last items required is of the bond that the developer must come to back to the planning board and to the city for approval of that road. In doing that, that means that the DPW will go in there and they will verify that all the catch basins are correct and all the sewer lines are correct and all the water lines are correct and everything was done according to the drawings. And also that there's a retention basin, a detention basin, then that is there and becomes part of the city maintenance plan. Typically, these items, like this type, they become grassed, and the homeowner will mow it just like they'd mow their regular lawn, in a lot of cases on this type. So it becomes part of their lawn.
Now, in the event of
If there was
runoff,
if there was a backup or something like that, a problem with it, then after it was accepted, then it would be the responsibility of the cities because it becomes part of the.
now, with any subdivision, typically you may wind up with children. Is that going to be fenced off for safety reasons?
All depends on this, a detention pond, it's not because there's ordinances. I think it'd never hold more than 2 feet of water. And in that case, if we were going to in some cases, we go to larger ones. And then what we do is we have them plant like hip rows, thorn bushes, and that type of stuff around them so the water can flow. But but it would necessarily keep children out. If you get into a real deep one, like if we had a big subdivision, or if you get into construction, into a commercial site, then in that case, we would actually put a fence around it. And that's all determined by the size and the depth, and it's all spelled out in the ordinances. Okay?
David Harper, 37 Cynthia. How's it prevented from turning into a mosquito breeding area?
It shouldn't, it should drain, it should be dry, David.
But with the groundwater we have back there now, it's very, very wet. I don't know if any of you have ever been back there, but in the springtime, you can't sometimes physically walk across your backyard without sinking.
We walked the site, we did in fact walk the site, and I did go down into that area. As he mentioned earlier, as Eric mentioned earlier, you have pre and post development. So they've done the calculations and they know from a hydrologist exactly what the flows are at their property line. So whatever their flow is at a certain time at their property line, they're not allowed to exceed that. So as that property line is set today, that flow should not exceed what is there today, and if we can improve it at all, we will. So that's the goal, is not to exceed, but try to improve. So if anything, it should help to dry it out a little bit.
That's just for the roadway though.
No, that's all of the
whole
all the
site.
improvements. Yeah, that takes care of all the roadways, the drains off the homes, and all the rest of that. Okay, the natural drainage of property, the rest of your property, lawns and things like that, would drain as they normally would.
The basin is also designed with a sub-drain. So after every rain event, it should run completely dry. If it's not running dry, then the sub-drain must be clogged and you need maintenance of some sort. So there should never be any standing water in the basin.
Okay.
The other question I had was the right-of-way with the sewer and the water. Just concerned about, trenches being left overnight, how long it's going to take for that tie-in to take place. As I see it, it goes right up to my property line, and like they're planning on taking out trees and a wall that's right, inch from my property line, and there's a good slope going down to it. Just concerned about losing the side of my yard while that process is going on, and children falling into the trench, and
We can put conditions on that if you wish.
just some kind of a safeguard.
Yes, Mr. Phillips?
I had been looking into that because I was aware of the concerns, and there will be a construction fence used, as well as there will never be an open trench.
Okay.
It will be filled on a daily basis. And we're going to do our best not to remove those bushes that are there, if possible.
Okay.
Because it means I've got to replace them.
Okay. Have you talked to Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I always like to, I prefer to see the neighbors talk. Because you get much more done that way than we do here. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Will the actual definition of the buffer be written in, I think we had discussed it, but would that...
It is on the drawing.
Will be written in, we're going to plant X amount of trees, we're going to have bushes here, we're going to, i.e., Mr. Phillips and I talked about, if you look at that road that comes in there, well, guess what? Every headlight that comes up that road goes into my back of my property. So
Well,
even though it's, right now, it's forested, as soon as those trees go down,
No, he's not allowed to go into the 20-foot buffer, so whatever is there today
No, I'm
should
talking
stay.
about lights from a vehicle.
No, I agree. There's a 20-foot buffer. At 20 feet. Yes, Mr. Phillips.
Excuse me, we're not allowed to go in and plant trees?
Well, you can go plant trees, you can put more trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, not a problem.
One of the things we were doing...
You always can improve and increase.
Okay. It is our plan to add additional trees to that area that would be evergreen style, that would minimize that. We didn't put it on the plan yet because we were waiting to hear all the inputs. Then we were going to make the final changes and incorporate them. But they will be shown on the plan, specifically in that area.
That's no raking leaves either.
That's pine needles.
Okay. Do I have any other questions?
One other question. I think I've already addressed this with Peter, but I just want to make sure that the road itself Bella Villa, I know is a private way, and this would be a private way as well, correct?
Bella Villa is not a private way. Bella Villa is a public unaccepted road.
Okay, all right. No, that's the
Okay.
proper terminology for it, okay. This
And the
road-
private way is if it was gated and there was a sign at the beginning that says, "Do not enter."
Okay.
Okay?
This road would be plowed and trash collected the same way our road would be done,
That is
right?
correct.
So, yeah, okay, I just wanna, I think I already spoke to him about that, so maybe I forgot. I just wanna make sure that was involved in the same thing too. I wanted to hear from the town rather than,
Leominster has a unique situation. Because of safety reasons, once people are living on a road, the city assumes, once it's basically done and not under construction, the city assumes that they start, they plow.
okay.
I think with the city council, last week I happened to be watching their meeting on TV and they were talking about getting approval on Tisdale. Now, if anybody knows anything about Tisdale Street, it's been around for about 150 years. Huh? That's Tisdale Ave, yeah. And it's been there forever. And it was built by who we don't remember, but it was never accepted. Is there a mini unaccepted street in the city? So, and there were also some development. So now they're coming back to the city, say, get our streets accepted, but it's not up to code. So these new streets will be up to code, and part of our requirement is that this portion will in fact become accepted. Now, maybe at the same time, we'll try to get Bella Villa accepted, but, you know, that's not his responsibility, but if we can do it, we'll try to do that and get everything corrected and done, but it should be close to being accepted, and that way that whole section would be an accepted street. But for safety reasons, the city does plow, you know, streets once they, essentially, the development is done.
Okay. I just had the question because I had to deal with the DPW and trying to get drainage approval for that area, so.
Right.
It was an adventure, so.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So it should help, should help. Okay. Do we have any other issues, Board?
I have one question.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips, did you receive and read a letter written on behalf of Joan Lamsa?
Yes.
And are you in agreement with that letter?
We've responded to it. Yeah.
Obviously, they want a buffer, which is, we'd require anyway.
We pretty much stuck with just the buffer. That was the response.
Is she aware of that response?
Yes, I'm Robert Cirillo, just for the record, for Pete Phillips, I'm his attorney. We did respond to that letter and we informed her that we would be happy to provide the 20-foot buffer zone, which was what was required for this division. I think she wanted a fence too, and we just, as part of our response, felt that vegetation would look better for the area. So that was the crux of our response.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Cirillo.
Thank you. This should be given to,
Yeah, I think Brenda does have the original.
you have the original in there? Okay. Do I have any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, I think a motion is in order.
I move to close the hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to close the hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay.
I have 2 knees being banged.
Discussion will come up later on, and all the, about a half an hour.
John?
She can't hear, but she wants to know.
Carol does the kick me under the table.
Not even a half, I bet you not even a half hour.
Just for meetings like this.
I gotta get
There's other places.
To everything else.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's move on.
John Souza?
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Carol Vittorioso.
Here.
Armin Millet.
Here.
Dave Giovanni.
Here.
Tom Sheridan. Sal Chaconi.
And I'm gonna go look for them again.
You don't get Sal.
Sal is so.
Go by first names now?
I'll ask her to start with you next time, okay, Mr. Chaconi?
He said,
I said Chaconi.
Did he?
yeah.
For once, in 18 years? Wow.
I know how to
Change
get.
it.
Minutes of previous meetings.
Move to accept?
Motion made, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Do I have any questions, changes, additions, or deletions? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Plan submitted, A&R plan for Gagny Realty Corporation, Mill, Williams, Bishop, on Martin Streets, 5 lots.
I actually have a copy of the plan, but Mr. Ballard from Whitman and Bingham is here to talk about it with you guys.
That's not a good sign. It's open A&R plan. Upside down. Shows up?
Just want to make sure.
Okay. What are you guys doing over here?
Alright, Bishop Williams.
4 lots? 5.
No.
Yeah, 4 in this here. 2.
I think 1 lot right now?
Yeah. And I believe Mr.
Gotta wait to
McCarthy
see, they probably
had a
will.
drawn site plan recently.
No, they just got the information. Oh, okay. They're gonna talk about it.
So one of
So
them.
which one is trustee?
This is Mill Street, this is the existing buildings, right?
Correct.
Right.
That's the old.
So just show me what's the frontage for lot 1?
Frontage for lot 1 is here.
That's the new building.
And would you need at least 80?
No.
That's that trustee change?
Oh, 20?
Commercial,
Yeah.
20.
Okay. And where's the frontage on for lot 2?
Lot 2 is it's Bishop, right? It's Bishop.
Okay.
Lot 3 is William Street. Lot 4 is.
This is part of Mill Street?
No, there's an existing right of way here. right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So this.
Oh, I
this
see.
encompasses the way.
I see, it's their driveway, it's lot 4's drive. I got you.
That's Lowe's Boulevard.
And lot
Lot
5?
5 comes down to.
Show us the Fallon first.
How's it come down the mill? Okay.
That's the main road.
Fallon is here.
Show us the theater. Show us the theater.
That's over here.
This is the center, back way out, and take the right, go
Yes.
past
So you're gonna make,
5 lots.
So these are the lots for the buildings that were just approved. On a file there.
okay, the
Now,
road is the front away. Huh?
Okay.
The road is the frontage.
Well, there's a courtyard here.
So is Bishop Street continuation a paper street, or does it end there, where you show it? Legally?
Well, the road's a private road, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's a private road, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
It's a right of way, but it's a private
See,
road.
before, all this land is all under one.
Tennessee gas right
Prior to
But I think
this
this
parcel,
one,
weather corporation.
keep all the information in. So we got
So they have to bring.
Kinda convoluted,
Yeah,
but
the
it,
others got more information, preliminary.
yeah, okay.
Move to endorse.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to endorse.
Everything here is pretty
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Oh, that's the septic.
Site plan, Dan Lapine, 770 North Main Street. North Main Street?
Is that a typo?
North Main Street?
North Main Street, yeah, just drop the E. What was on your
Do
mind?
we need a public information?
You going back to
Back to
Maine?
the beach.
You were thinking Old Orchard?
Public informational hearing?
Yes, we can do it December 7th at 6:45.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded for December 7th at 6:45?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Definitive plan, Salavatos. Salavatos. 1107 and 1113 Main Street.
Okay, that's also gonna require a hearing.
Public hearing?
Yep. And we can also do that on December 7th at 7 o'clock.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded for December 7th at 7 o'clock. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
That gives you time for advertising?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
4.0, old business, Summit Construction, James Exeris, bond release for Katy Lane. I'll read a letter that I got from, we did a site walk yesterday. Site visit on Katy Lane. The following items were noted on the site visit that was conducted on November 15, 2004. Granite curbing has not been provided per Leominster subdivision regulation section 4.3.2. Insufficient pavement width. Pavement test borings, the depth of 30 inches need to be performed every 150 feet to determine depth of subgrade. Provide proof that the detention basin was constructed with appropriate materials. It's failed twice. Sewer manholes need to be finished. Inverts casting centered on structure. Sewer main needs to be cleaned to at least Liggett Hill Road. Drain manholes need to be finished, inverts. Drain in Central Street needs to be inspected and cleaned if necessary. Drain easement to Central Street needs to be stabilized and seeded. Road subdrains may need to be installed per Leominster subdivision regulation section 4.0.8. Provisions for drainage from Summit Estates detention basin should be made over Lot 4. John R. Roseberry, Leominster Public Works.
I move to continue the request for bond release until the 11 conditions are met per the approval of the DPW.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to continue. Yeah, okay.
So,
To continue the bond release until all the conditions are met by the DPW. And that they be resubmitted back to us.
right, and do we usually do it based on, are we waiting for everything to be
Yes.
finished?
Yes.
He wants a bond, he didn't ask for a
He didn't ask for partial?
Looking for a bunch, you're looking for bond release,
For the
and
whole
I mean,
bond? Okay, I'm
I
just
mean,
asking
the
question.
sidewalks aren't done.
I know it's 100,000, but I didn't know if it was,
I mean, he didn't do sidewalks, and I mean, the thing is.
no, I understand that, I know we had amounts next to each item. I didn't know if it was a partial, but it was a full
The
bond.
point is, the
right?
things that he's claiming to be complete
Yep,
are on the DPW's list for rebuilding.
right,
So we want to see where that washes out in the next couple of weeks.
yep.
They don't have much time left to make those corrections before it freezes.
Right.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Do I have a second on that? Motion.
Yeah.
Sal did.
Sal, okay. Any further discussion on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. New business. 5.1, William Ullman, 89 Peck Street, Franklin, Mass. Special permit for construction of a single-family house on an unaccepted way, Cleveland Street. We're open for discussion. We did a site walk there, and again, this is a continuation. We probably should have asked for that third house to increase the road width, but we didn't. Okay? We've now got this fourth house in there. We also have the rest of the road, I guess they did tell us the sewer line is in. That means that there's approximately, I'm gonna guess, roughly 200 feet
Of gravel.
of gravel. I'm taking a wild guess at that. That's the frontage, it might be 150 feet, but yeah, I really don't know.
I don't know what the third house did. We were asking every house to do part.
We were asking
For
every
anyone
house to do in
everything.
front of their house.
That's right.
That's what we were asking. So-
Well, he didn't do nothing, because what happened is on the right-hand side, the first and second house took it beyond his property down further. So they put in a 20-foot road.
Yeah, but he had some issues.
He had some other issues, but not the road,
No.
not the road. Okay? So now we're saying so that was the third house, we now have the fourth house. Now, I would like to see the road completed, at least to the 20-foot width.
Oh, what we,
Property.
didn't we get?
Well, to their property line or to the end of the road. See, now they showed on the drawing only to their property line. That's still gonna leave 150 feet of that road never to be paved.
But
How about a
there's,
turnaround for people that drive in there not knowing it's a dead end?
Well, that would have to be the other, you
How about a
can't.
condition that we post it as a dead end? That they have it posted as a dead end. So that-
yeah, because I don't think
Because people
we're
that
being
drive in there
reasonable.
by mistake can't turn around.
They're gonna turn around on somebody's driveway. People do that now. when that's-
Well, I was on a subdivision, there's big signs, no turning in driveways.
But this isn't a subdivision either. This is one house.
That's right.
If we had addressed it as a subdivision, but we didn't.
We can't.
No, we couldn't. That's
Right.
correct. So to put the burden on one person to pave it isn't right.
Well, we put the burden on the first two houses to pave 20 feet
Past the second house.
past the second house, which is a total of probably, I want to say 400 or 500, about 500 feet.
But there were all sorts of other issues.
Are there any lots beyond,
There's,
No,
no,
that's the end?
that's the end.
because after that, the end of that road,
Doesn't matter where they end up
That's
paving,
right.
'cause they-
It's
that's-
over.
It's their driveway.
That's right. That's right.
it's up to the board members.
I'm gonna approve it as they've proposed it. I mean, the only house
Yeah,
next to them is the mother.
I agree.
If there's
They've
not gonna
already
be
got the
anything
sewer
beyond
in under the gravel from the other side.
Okay.
It's been in existence there, believe me. The brook ran down. It's been
I
in
know.
existence
I know.
there
Yeah.
forever.
And think of, I mean, the proponent is the daughter of the mother who lives next door.
All I'm
And she
saying
could
is-
ask for anything and get it,
Yeah.
because she's the mother, and she's not even asking for the road to be
They have
paved.
their own wood lot there, the price of oil goes up.
I'm just saying is, the goal is, our goals is to eventually get all these streets accepted. It can't be accepted as a, and
Well,
I'm,
be that as it may, it's just not fair to put that kind of financial hardship on one lot. If not, we should have thought of that at the very
No,
beginning,
and-
working back.
And frankly,
We screwed up.
and frankly, it's gonna be the burden of the homeowner, because if Ms. Downing goes to sell her house and they say, well, it's, you know, the road's not paved, I'm sure she's thought of this, then it's gonna be her, it's gonna be her concern, if it affects the value of her house, and I'm sure she's thought of that, because she's sitting here saying she doesn't wanna pay it.
I don't know why they don't pay, besides the cost. but-
Keeps people out.
Okay.
Saving money on the front end, so. There is not gonna be that much less on the other end.
So, did you make the,
I move to approve the,
as proposed?
as proposed.
And I'll second it.
Okay,
I move to issue the special permit.
Motion made and seconded to issue a special permit as proposed. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries.
Good luck.
5.2.
Best wishes. Thank you.
Mitch Gill, 435 Lancaster Street, Leominster. Special permit for the purpose of building a duplex on the westerly side of Baker Street and unaccepted street. This has been continued. Peter and Deborah Phillips, 1215 Main Street, Leominster. Definitive subdivision plan for 6 proposed lots on Mary Avenue.
Discussion. I believe that drainage study needs to be expanded to include an analysis of the groundwater situation. Now, take, for example, you build underground pipelines.
Right.
And they put crushed rock under them. Now they created underground waterways.
Or aquifers.
The whole groundwater changes because it follows those lines. And I think that has to be analyzed because the whole area is a groundwater problem. And I'd like to see an analysis of that. If the developer doesn't want to do it, I propose that we hire an independent
Didn't the
hydraulic
DPW
review
mention that
for the
too?
board.
Did the DPW mention that? There's a drainage report missing?
Yes, they did. They did mention it.
And they're not talking about the details?
Eric mentioned that groundwater was not considered in their drainage analysis. So
Right.
I would like to see it considered in there.
And even building is saying, they need to approve or disapprove because, you know, they're talking about the underground water too. And they're talking about the extensive drainage system for each house lot. And the maintenance of the, if they're talking about the maintenance of the basin.
What's the health department talking about groundwater?
No, this is the building department. Oh, the health
But the
department,
health
that's,
department,
yeah, they've been talking about everything lately.
Thank you.
He's even talking about utilities.
So-
We gotta talk to Chris.
Yes, stay in his own.
Yeah, this is like,
surface
oh, can I, tell Chris I wanna talk to him.
Just, if you watch
Kevin, tell
this,
Chris, hey, Chris, what are you doing? All right.
at least write it out in English, so they can understand it.
He can't do that. He's a good guy, he means well.
Well, I know, that's hard worker.
Okay, I
And they're all
think,
talking drainage on them, every one of them
It's all
comments about the
surface,
drainage.
it's all surface water drainage. We have
Right.
no groundwater analysis of this
Right.
development, and that seems to be the major concern.
okay.
The surface water, I think, has been adequately addressed.
Right.
Okay, why don't we continue
See what's
this
gonna
then
happen with the groundwater.
and request a groundwater study to be given
agree
back
with
to
that.
us
Yep.
by the
Well-
next meeting?
Good, we may want to consider 2 other things first. Section 4.1.0.5, dead-end streets shall not be longer than 500 feet in the subdivision regulations of the city. The equivalent length of this dead-end street is much longer than 500 feet.
Are you taking it from
Section 4 from Main Street,
Main Street?
and all the houses
Right,
off
but
of
see, I come
1
Bella
exit.
Villa
I'm
and then.
calling the whole thing
Okay.
a dead end.
Yep, I got
Even
you.
though it branches out into a network, it's still, when you
There's
come
only
in off of
one
Main
egress.
Street, it's a dead end.
Right.
4.1.0.12, subdivisions with 12 or more lots shall have at least 2 non-contiguous street connections with a street or streets. So that they're supposed to have 2 ways in and out of that area because they have more than 12 houses in there. And the fact of the matter is, they own the land where the second access could be built, but they're choosing not to use it. And I think they should comply with the subdivision
How wide was
regulations.
that? Eric, how wide was that second egress?
Well, it doesn't matter how hard.
I'm just asking the question.
They're trying to
very wide.
maximize and get more lots by not doing it.
Your strip
according
that
to-
goes out to Main Street? You
Yeah.
don't know why it is?
It's a driveway length.
No, I mean the strip that goes up to Pacific.
That's what
That's
that's
an easement,
regulation.
that's not.
That's an easement, that's
Okay.
not that, that's an easement, that's not it.
All right, I get
We
it.
looked at that, we looked at
Yep.
the possibility of that coming off the edge. It
Right.
was so close to the edge of your house, if I remember correctly.
It was very close, yeah.
Right.
And that's why you backed off, because it
Right.
really would have made a very tight situation.
Okay. Well, I just point that out. It's not up to us to try to make it easier for the developer to handle a hard situation.
Well, I think on the preliminary, we had looked at the 12 houses. I know we discussed that, and then we gave that approval on the preliminary subdivision.
I don't recall, John.
Andy, do you remember that?
My concern is that this development could continue back and back and back.
What I'm saying,
We could have 50 houses on a dead end in there.
what I'm saying, Ahmed, is that we had, I thought we had this, no, I agree. No, I agree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with all. Yeah, I realize that. But then when we had looked at this lot, and I vaguely remember there was some discussion on the preliminary plan about the house lots. In the 6 house lots, and whether we measured it from Main Street or we measured it from Bella Villa. Okay? And at that time, we determined that we would measure it from Bella Villa, that it was okay. And we gave them the preliminary subdivision approval. And that's all I'm saying on it. Okay, so we've already given them, it was discussed, and we gave them in the preliminary, we gave them tentative approval to that basic home configuration.
All I'm saying was at that time, the 4.1012 was not discussed, it was ignored as part of that decision. And I think this board should stop ignoring the subdivision regulations, and we should all reread them.
Well, before his proposal came in, what did the end of that street do? It just ended, right?
Yes.
So why should we penalize the developer for putting in a cul-de-sac at the end of it and make him pay for make him comply with the full 500?
Well, you don't have to. I'm just telling you my opinion, is that they're violating the zoning ordinance. If you want to keep violating the zoning ordinance, go ahead. I was going to vote against it.
Because you're looking at it as a whole versus just his 6-unit subdivision. That's how you're viewing this.
Okay.
So would you view this differently, Mr. Millette, if he came in once every 2 years and just added a home? Added one home and another home and another home over a 6-year period of time instead of adding 6 homes all at once and making it in a cul-de-sac? Because that's basically what has happened to Mary Ave, right?
And Cleveland Street.
Cleveland.
No, Cleveland is a different picture. The Cleveland is already determined to be a private, it was already a paper street.
Yeah, right.
So that, we're creating a street here. So, but Bella Villa and Mary Avenue were paper streets, as is,
All I'm saying is...
Because I remember there was a discussion.
They could have had 2 ways in and out of here, but they don't want to do it. So everybody's looking the other way, saying, okay, these are our rules and regulations, but we really don't mean it. You can do anything you want. It's okay with me. I just want everybody to be aware of it.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking questions, not to be in conflict with you, but just to
Because
get
I'll tell you
answers.
why, there's a lot of development pressure, and more of the developments are coming in, and they all want waivers on dead-end roads. They want to go 500, now they want to go 1,000, now they want to go 1,500. Now they want to go into Sterling with who knows how many houses, with a dead-end street coming into Leominster, where Sterling gets all the tax revenue and Leominster gets all the traffic and all the expense. It's just an issue we should be aware of. And
That's only 120.
the chairman so eloquently states at the beginning of every meeting that this is a board of permitted uses, yet week after week we come in here and grant waiver after waiver after waiver. Those are not permitted uses.
Okay. On this plan here, we have...
And it's ruining the city. bit by bit, cul-de-sac by cul-de-sac.
I'm trying to look at my own notes here. Oh, tree plantings.
Did anybody read the comments from the department heads? I mean, to the developer? Yeah. I mean,
To the
because
developer?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Health Department said there's danger of flooding on Mary Avenue.
DPW has the building restriction as mentioned in WNRD Book 3603-272 passed.
But this is the one that I,
All right, applicants should demonstrate how Mary Ave and Bella Villa Ave are to become public and show all improvements to said ways. Permanent utility easement over land of Gasparo should be bounded with concrete bounds. All corners of the proposed drainage easements should be bounded with concrete bounds. Note number 2 on sheet 2 states that plans, thank you, are on the city datum, while note number 2, sheet 3 states that plans are on an assumed datum. Water main should loop from Main Street to Forsythia Road. Soil testing to determine the high groundwater level should be performed in the area of the detention basin and the proposed roadway. 5-foot diameter manholes should be noted on the plan. Show access road, and we'll get you a copy of all this if you haven't seen it. Show access road to detention basin and SMH, well, manhole 5. Show proposed easement for outfall area of detention basement. Provide detail of proposed road subdrain. Roof leaching pit details are shown on sheet 6. Are these to be utilized? They are not shown on plans nor mentioned in the drainage report. Section 4.0 of drainage report is missing. Slopes of reach DMH3 and reach DMH4 do not match plan. Section 1.6, relationship of flows to storm events should be shown correctly. Interior slope of the detention basin should be 3:1 as shown on the impervious core detail. Spillway elevation should be noted on plan. Uppermost orifice on the outlet structure appears to be into the flat top. For sewer lateral connections greater than 10%, a manhole with an inside drop should be installed on private property. The DPW recommends the cul-de-sac island either be eliminated or reduced to a 10-foot radius. Revised plans should be resubmitted to be reviewed for approval by this department. So that was DPW. A lot of issues, Eric, a lot of stuff to look at, guys. Did you get notes on any of
So
this
I have
stuff?
to remember, we should give them a copy of that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Why don't we, because, you know, there were comments from building, there were comments from fire, there were comments from conservation, well, not as much, and health as well. So we should get you a copy of these.
I've seen some of those copies from the other boards. I didn't see the one from the DPW.
Okay, I mean, they got real detailed. The
Yeah, they got
DPW
detail on that.
detailed.
Building inspector says that
Sounds like we can
extensive
address all of
drainage
those, though. I mean,
will be
some of it's
required for
like-
each
I'm
house
sure,
lot. That's what
Scrivener's
one
error or something.
yeah.
said.
And even building is saying, yeah, like Donna said, an extensive drainage system will be required for each house lot, and how will, or I think they meant who will maintain detention basin, right?
Right.
Not how will maintain, doesn't make sense. So they're saying neither approves or disapproves, the fire department says neither approves or disapproves. Building department, I mean, DPW, just what I told you, health is neither approves nor disapproves, and conservation neither approves or disapproves. You guys should get a copy of this,
Yeah.
and then, you know, so you can readdress this, and we'll continue the discussion.
There's a number of
Yeah.
corrections that have to be made.
Plus, with some of the agreements you made with the neighbors on the buffer zones, things like that, maybe you could show, I forgot the gentleman's name that was concerned about the retention basin, right? It was a retention, not detention.
It's a detention.
It's a detention, okay. I mean, if you had some pictures to show them what they look like?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
I mean, because I have one on my land, and there's never any standing water in it, but I know what it looks like, and I can see it from my deck too, but it doesn't physically detract. I don't think anything, but I just think he needs a visual on stuff like that as well. So a
I'll
little
take
more
care of
work with
that.
those, with the
Yeah.
neighbors, might be better. I don't see issues going toward Main Street because of the
slope goes the other way, yeah.
Goes the other way. So I think that's gonna help all the Main Street piece of it. I think the drainage will help you out a piece a lot too.
I am
But-
ready to beg you guys for it, because I need help, my water's killing me.
But we need to do due diligence here, and as Armin stated, we need to think about other things as well, so just, that's
Okay.
all I have to say.
Just make sure that they get a copy of that report from
fax
the
those to
DPW
us tomorrow.
that we have
Yeah,
here.
I'm sorry. I was on a bender.
Okay. Motion is ordered to continue to the next meeting.
Is that enough time?
Is
We
that
want to
enough
make
time,
that
guys?
to, or we'll make it to
I
the
can-
7th.
I can certainly address most of the, well, probably all the DPW comments.
That is the next,
I
the
don't
next
know
meeting.
about doing the groundwater study. I don't know how long that would really take and what's,
Want to do it for 2 meetings out?
You wanna move it to
And-
January?
And then if you
The first
guys
meeting in
want to
January.
change it,
That's
you
fine,
can
he's nodding his
notify.
head. January,
I mean, because you're not really going to start it now, are you?
No.
I mean, we're still a ways away here, right?
if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
okay, January 4th.
January 4th?
It gives us plenty of time to get the testing accomplished.
Okay.
Yeah, to get everything,
Right.
and talk to the people some more and maybe give them some
Absolutely.
more
I've been in
assurances too.
contact with most of them.
Yeah, no, it seems like you've done a real nice job.
Well, they said you have,
Yeah,
so.
and they were, I mean, you had a lot of people speak in favor of you, so that says you're doing something right. So that's a
Okay.
good thing.
Sounds good. Looks like we have a plan. Continue this to our January 4th meeting, correct?
6:45, yeah.
6:45 or 7?
No, because we
No,
have a
you're right.
6:30 and then
That's right, I'm sorry.
Did we close the hearing?
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we
We
did.
Close the hearing.
Yep.
We closed the hearing.
So
So-
now would it require to come back then?
It's not for the hearing. We're just continuing.
Yeah, this is
This
just.
is
a-
just a, this is table for further
Table
information.
further information.
So moved, to table for further
Second.
information.
That'd be on the regular agenda.
Right. Because the hearing's closed.
Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Anything on communications?
Actually, I got something at the end of the day.
January 4th.
January
Tuesday.
4th.
January 4th. No, it's not even 6, it'll come up in the regular
After the
agenda
hearing.
of the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the hearing's closed.
Saves the whole night.
You don't have to sit all night. No, you can come after the hearings.
Just call on Friday, ask Brenda where it falls on the agenda. And she'll tell you what time to be
She'll
here.
tell you. She's good. She's got a pool going. She tells us how close are we running?
She lost tonight.
We lost.
I'm actually looking like the winner
No,
tonight.
you wait till.
Just communication?
Yeah, I
You got
actually,
communication.
I'm gonna get on. I received this Friday afternoon. It's a city council request. Dean J. Mazzarella, mayor, requests that the city council, the zoning board of appeals, and the planning board adopt additional notification requirements which would require any applicant for a variance or special permit erect and maintain in legible condition one or more public notification panels at the site for which relief is requested.
Oh. They want to, so if someone wants to,
Somebody wants a special permit or variance, he
All
wants
three
some kind of
bodies.
sign
on the
on
property.
the premises that's stating what it is.
Is that the same thing they do for wetlands?
When? Before it's approved, or?
Let's see, it doesn't, actually, that's all I got, was a paragraph. He did give me, you can take a look at this, Carol. He gave some narrative, I guess, of how he
I
would
recall,
envision
that
that.
was brought up because when somebody starts digging on land, everybody comes to City Hall and wants to know what the heck is
Exactly.
going on.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Right.
if there was a sign there,
Right,
they
people
would-
could go
they
and
would
just
know.
say, oh, okay, they're putting an addition on it or something like that.
Right.
I think that would that require an ordinance?
Yes, he made it
Require-
into a.
Oh, it
it's
is an
a-
ordinance, okay.
the
Could you
following-
just give me a paragraph? Okay.
Any applicant for a variance or special permit shall be required to erect and maintain in legible condition one or more public notification panels at the site for which the variance or special permit is requested. So it sounds like
So it's
they want
before
it,
the fact.
yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna have to go to the city council
they
and
do
they
that in
come to
Europe.
us.
In Europe,
They do that, I've seen those in Ireland.
we should get it
Because
going.
there's no places left to go.
All right.
What is the
It
procedure?
says a written recommendation will be required by the city council 72 hours prior, actually it says by the city council 72 hours prior to the next council meeting, which is Monday, November 22nd, 2004. I think they meant,
So does he want us to give a positive recommendation?
I would imagine so.
We can't. Because that's a zoning ordinance. That would be a zoning change, which requires
Is it
a hearing.
zoning? I don't
It said
think it's a
request of the city
zoning.
council, the zoning board, and the planning.
What I'm saying is, but-
Planning board.
Is it really a zoning change?
No, it's an
though?
ordinance. It would be changed to be added in as a city ordinance. If you're gonna require somebody
Wait.
to do something, you can't You can do that as a city
Just
ordinance.
looking
Wait
for
a
an
second.
opinion, I
At
think
the
our opinion
regular
would be that,
meeting-
yes, that sounds like a great idea,
Yeah.
why don't you go forward with it?
Right.
I don't have a problem with
Essentially what
that,
he's looking for.
So
but
that's
I'm
my
just,
motion.
right, yeah.
At the regular meeting of the City Council, November 8th, the following communication was referred to the Planning Department for a recommendation by the Legal Affairs Committee. A written recommendation will be required by the City Council 72 hours prior to the next meeting, Monday the 22nd.
You can't do it. Well, for recommendation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a good
I move that we
idea.
recommend that they
Well, I
proceed,
get,
that it's a good idea and that they proceed with
I
that.
think it's cool.
Yeah, tell them I think it's
I-
copacetic.
You know what, this isn't, no,
something's wrong.
Wait. This is not part of, this
This
is
is
not, this is
copacetic.
not part of our ordinance. He's requesting that the City Council,
Copacetic.
Zoning Board of Appeals and Planning Board adopt the attached additional notification requirements as part of their rules and procedures. Rules and procedures. He just wants it to be like,
A regulation rather than a law.
Okay.
It's taking way too much time to figure this
We
one
don't have
out.
rules of,
I'm okay with
I would, if this is simply something he wants us to adopt as part of our, like when we say,
Like a condition.
as a
Which I
as
think that's what he's
condition,
doing, yes.
then I move that we would recommend approval to.
if we do that, then that means that whenever anybody comes in with something, you're gonna have
Could be
to
a
tell
nightmare.
them, that, it
Could
could
be
be.
like
Or
election
anybody
signs.
applies for a special permit.
Is it
tell
just
them,
saying
put the-
special
put the
permits
sign
on?
up for-
Special
it's
permit
a
or
special
variance.
Or
permit
variance?
or a variance,
All right.
so.
Well, what did you say?
I think what you have to, I don't even think it comes before us. I think when
What did I
someone,
City council
I think what-
permits too?
I think all you have to do is when someone comes in, when William Almonds comes into you and saying, I'm requesting a
Yes, I
special
think-
permit on an unaccepted street, you say, you accept the documents, you say, here. From the planning department, you say, here, this is what you have to comply with pending the outcome of the hearing. I don't think it actually comes before us. I think it's something the planning department will give to the applicant.
Right, the way I
Because by the time it gets to us, weeks have gone by since they've applied, since they filed their application.
Right, I don't think it comes back to you guys at all. It's
No, what I'm saying is, the action by the applicant doesn't come before us,
Right.
okay? What I'm saying is, I'm just questioning the process. The process, and they're saying our planning board, ZBA procedures.
Copacetic.
You know, do we have procedures that we say, when somebody comes in, you hand them a piece of paper and you say, these are the things that you have to follow. There's the dates, the times, and if you're gonna put up a special permit, you have to have a
Regs.
place, you know, you gotta put on your property a sign saying, we've applied for a special permit and this is what it is.
I think that,
Okay, and I think that's a planning department.
That's right.
the way it works
thing.
with the Conservation Commission is that after you have your order of condition, then you post the sign before construction starts.
With a number.
And I think that's the way it should be here. If somebody receives a special permit, they should post the property before construction starts, but not to post the property before the application has gone through the hearing.
Oh, that, the
Oh,
way it's
no,
worded.
see, this was an outgrowth of people said, things are happening, we don't know what doesn't happen. Okay, and this is what you heard, we heard from
Yeah.
Harvard Street. Harvard Street said, oh, and we had hearing, nobody ever told us because in the site plan, they were not required to be notified because it was a site plan. So therefore, these people said, we didn't know what's going on. So the solution was, or the recommendation from the mayor is that if somebody comes in with a plan, whether it's a site plan or a special permit, whatever, that they take, and before they even get started, they post a sign and they say, and I'm not sure, I haven't seen the paperwork
Well,
yet.
it says in there, it's a
As the
laundry list.
legal notice is
Okay.
going out, they're posting the sign,
Yeah, the same, it's like the legal notice.
so they'd be posting before the
Po-
hearing.
Posting the legal notice prior to the hearing saying, on such and such a day, there's gonna be a hearing or a meeting or something like that. And like I said, we got that Friday, we didn't get it in our packets, and I'm really disappointed I get something like that. I don't have a chance to really discuss it intelligently, and yet they're telling me I've gotta get back to the city council by Monday.
They
Well,
do that
okay.
to us all
About
the
the
time.
legality of this.
And I'm not sure about the
Well,
legality
it
of
does
the
say
whole
at the
thing.
bottom if it's not enough time to let them know. So why don't we just ask them to put it on our next agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But-
I'd like to put on next, I said, I don't have a problem with the concept, okay? But at the same time, I'd like to investigate it further in legalities and say there's a potential where this is, should it be part of the city ordinances that we do this, or is it just part of procedures through the planning department?
I think it's the planning department, just like when they say
It could be
no
planning
new
department.
plans beyond 12 o'clock on Thursday. They
Yeah.
won't be, that's your own policy, and I
Right.
think they just want this as part of the planning
And
department's
that could be
policy.
that. But I think, but he's got a whole page of description of things in there, and I think that should be discussed.
What I'll do is where I got it late in the week, I will make copies of this tomorrow, get it out to each one of you to review
Right.
prior to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
We can
Okay.
discuss
Thought
it
it was
again
going to be an
after everyone-
ordinance.
Right.
Everyone can take
And
a look.
then we just discuss it, if that's it, then,
Okay.
and we just haven't had a chance to look at it, so,
What's that?
All right.
okay, fine.
Can we adjourn?
No, wait a minute.
Do I have a director's report?
No.
What? Oh, okay.
Do we have a director's report?
So you want this on the agenda and the new business next?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn is made and seconded.
The baby
Any
cell.
discussion? Here another call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
So we're both
Hey, we even made the newspaper deadline.
I just want to tell you.